Today we're going to look at an election prediction between Mike Pence and Bernie Sanders. So this one was actually suggested by a couple of people. I've done this one before, but now that we have a new updated whole approval polls that have come out, and a whole number of other things that can factor in, especially with immigration and a number of other key issues that are going to affect 2018 along with 2020. We're going to look at this map between Bernie Sanders and if Vice President Mike Pence had taken over for the president in the presidential election campaign, of course, becoming the nominee and ran against Bernie Sanders. So the reason why I'm doing this, I'm also going to do a Joe Biden versus Mike Pence video, is because Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are the top candidates. Those are the top two-tier candidates, and I really expect either one of them becoming the nominee. My friend actually just saw Joe Biden the other day, and someone had screamed out in the crowd, Biden in 2020, and he shook his head. So, when you see someone personally and they are dismissing it without it being known on the national news media, then you can kind of hint at that Joe Biden may not run, but the Democrats have definitely been pushing for him to run, so anything can happen. I mean, Hillary Clinton had said she wouldn't run in 2016, and you all know what happened, so again, anything is possible, but that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders versus Mike Pence. So Mike Pence would be a better candidate than the president, just to be completely honest with you. Bernie Sanders would be able to do well against Mike Pence, but Mike Pence would also do much better than the president would be able to. A number of these states that normally would flip if Trump was the candidate down here, Pence would be able to hold on to those states. I'm not going to do a shaded in map with leaning likely and solid. I'm just going to do it based off through a poll closing format and then finish off the map. But actually, you know what? I'll do my poll closing format in the Joe Biden video and then do the regular format that I use starting off on the West Coast for this video. So let's start off on the West Coast. So Washington, Oregon, and California, and Hawaii, of course, Democratic states. Nevada I'll leave in the toss-up column, and then we know a number of these states are going to be, that's weird, I haven't seen Colorado red in a while. Of course, toss-up states, toss-up districts as well. Texas would be in the Republican column. I don't know why I missed New Mexico. New Mexico, I actually don't see Mike Pence winning, so I'm going to put that one. Of course, he wins his home state. I'm going to put that one in the Democratic column. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Iowa, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, pretty much the same Democratic states. Actually, I do not see Mike Pence carrying the state of Virginia either, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one in the Democratic column. And of course, Bernie Sanders wins his home state, but this particular state puts Bernie Sanders at the 203 electoral vote number now, and then Mike Pence finishes off with 163 electoral votes. So looking at this map, there are a number of swing states, but some of these are going to be filled in pretty easily. So considering that the president is not the nominee, Mike Pence would do much better in political debate, especially with choosing vice presidential candidates. He won't need to focus on retaining that Republican areas. Places like Arizona or Georgia, which are typically Republican, are probably going to stay Republican because Mike Pence is that conservative, that Mitt Romney, John McCain, George Bush type conservative that was able to win those states before. Mike Pence will likely hold on to them as well. Colorado will stay in the Democratic column. I mean, Bernie Sanders does extremely well in states like Colorado, especially with that heavy progressive population there. Don't expect a Mike Pence victory at all. The state of Iowa, though, I do expect to go to Mike Pence along with the state of Ohio, and that puts Mike Pence over 200 electoral votes. So Ohio and Iowa are two states that the Bernie Sanders the Bernie Sanders campaign definitely should target, but right now they are in the favor of the Republicans because of the margin set but in 2016 by the president, which was larger than 2008 and 2012, and it just, Mike Pence would definitely be able to retain a number of those Republican voters that possibly could go to a Democratic candidate in 2020, or maybe there are independents who lean towards the Republican Party will likely stay with the vice president, now presidential candidate. But the Rust Belt, I do expect to go to Bernie Sanders. I mean, he would do pretty well in the Rust Belt. So this puts him at 268 electoral votes. Mike Pence is not that type of candidate. To be completely honest with you, he's not the type of candidate who could win in a number of these states, especially up in Maine. Bernie Sanders would win that second district over Mike Pence, and that puts him at 269 electoral votes. So when we're looking at this map, a number of states are going to be different than what we'll see. Let me turn off the volume. Definitely different than what we'll see in a Donald Trump versus Bernie Sanders map where Bernie Sanders takes the victory. But when we're looking at this map, Mike Pence is no Donald Trump. A number of these districts that flipped because Donald Trump was able to have that businessman appeal and be able to appeal to voters over Hillary Clinton. Again, Bernie Sanders is not Hillary Clinton, and Mike Pence is not Donald Trump. This would definitely be not beneficial to the Republicans, but they could do better in some other typically conservative states. New Hampshire, I see going to Bernie Sanders, which puts him over the top at 273 electoral votes. The state of North Carolina, I see going to Mike Pence by a narrow margin. Again, holding on to that conservative vote. North Carolina, I don't know why it's considered a toss-up state every single election season. I personally would put that one in the lean red column, considering it's only flipped once, and it was by a margin of 14,000 votes in 2008. So we have 229 electoral votes for the vice president and 273 for Bernie Sanders. I do see Bernie Sanders carrying the 2nd District and the state of Nevada. Only Nevada, number one, Hillary Clinton was able to carry it. Mike Pence isn't going to do better with Latino voters than Hillary Clinton, than Donald Trump did against Hillary Clinton in 2016. Nebraska's 2nd District, Bernie Sanders does pretty well with Midwestern voters and especially rural voters, and this is definitely going to be something that helps him in the state of Nebraska in that 2nd District. But Pennsylvania, right now I see that one is a pure toss-up, but I'm going to finish that one off in the Pence column, only because I do think Mike Pence could do the same thing Rick Scott was able to do and hold on to a number of independent voters while keeping the entire Republican base on his side, finishing off the map at Mike Pence at 258 electoral votes and Bernie Sanders at 280. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.